Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Top Cut. You might notice that one of our members is a bouncing cat. Krim, unfortunately, could not be with us, but he is here in spirit, so we'll have that nice picture of him here throughout the show. But I am Kyle Puka Sukovic, and with me is Michael Pramawat and Drew Holton. So I guess we'll just run through. And Drew, how you doing today?
Good, a little tired. Got Rambo hanging out with me, so maybe he'll stay for the whole show. Give us some company. He's better than Krim anyways. He's leaving.
Oh no.
That's what happens when you put Rambo and Krim in the same sentence. Rambo's like, I'm not taking any more of this. No.
Peace.
Alright, so Pram, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Setting up some new stuff for the show just like 10 minutes ago, but yeah. And Krim is with us in spirit.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the bouncing cat right there on your top right. Yeah.
So, we are very feline friendly here at the Top Cut. Hopefully Adrian makes an appearance as well at some point.
She's around here somewhere.
So, now we got that out of the way. I guess the big topic for tonight's show is going to be the ECC, the European Challenge Cup. Unfortunately, we didn't have a show last week, so we couldn't cover it immediately, but, you know, it happened 2 weeks ago. It's the only major tournament so far that has featured Next Destinies, which, of course, featured the big card. There's Adrian. The big card everybody's looking at, which is Mewtwo EX. And I guess we'll just get right into the results. So, what did you guys think? First place, of course, was the Celebi Mewtwo Tornadus deck. Was that what you expected? Did you expect the field to be the way it shaped up to be? I guess we'll start with Pram.
I kind of expected Celebi to do well. I definitely felt like it could win the tournament for sure. If you look at the results of it, there was like the top 32 was like loaded with Eel Trick.
Deck, actually, yeah.
Yeah, there was just Eel Trick's mirrors going all over. I don't know exactly why Celebi did so well in that Eel Trick field, because, like, I don't know. Well, I guess I'll get into that later, but, yeah, not too surprised Celebi did well, but I was really shocked that so many people jumped on the Eel Trick train.
Yeah, definitely a shock. I mean, 16 out of the top 32 decks featured Electric, which, I mean, it's half of your field. You don't really see that very often in any format, really. I mean, I guess the closest thing we had to that was the Gardevoir format, where Gardevoir probably made up half the field or more. So it's weird to see that, especially in a format with so many viable decks. I guess that caught me off guard. But, Drew, what did you think about the result?
Pretty surprised Celebi won. I did not see that coming. I thought it was a pretty big gimmick, but I guess it must be alright. I mean, it's got Mewtwo, which is obviously a good card. We saw Mewtwo all over this tournament, so its presence is felt immediately. Not too surprised Eel Trick was huge. I mean, it's probably the best energy accelerator right now. It didn't Celebi, so
I mean, sorry. Go ahead.
Where's my boy Durant? I picked Durant, man.
He made an appearance.
One.
No, there was 3 Durant in top 32.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Only one made it out into the top top 16, and then they just all got eliminated.
If I remember correctly, the one Electro deck faced Durant and then lost.
Yeah, I mean, I think Durant had a really good shot at doing well, but then in top 16, he played against Mewbox that ran Crobat, and it was like, if you're that Durant player, you're just like, out of every other person who's in this top 16, I have to play this guy. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the sort of oddball decks that made an appearance, but yeah, I think the big story here is you guys were all hating on my boy Celebi, and he comes out with a big victory. know you guys were all on the electric train, the everything but Celebi train, calling it a gimmick. But here he is. He's a winner. So just want to point that out. My testing results, 16-0, did not lie.
Is that 16 on PCCGO?
Well, yeah.
You just get like so red. You're just like, I mean, I'm undefeated with the Zubstrika, if that makes any difference on PTCGO.
Yeah. No, Celebi winning did catch me off guard too, especially with all the electric decks. But I guess let's talk about all the different Mewtwo variants. I guess decks really weren't focused around Mewtwo. It was more just, you play one or two copies, except there was one deck that was literally 4 Celebi and 3 Mewtwo, and those were the only Pokemon. So, that deck actually made it all the way to top 16 and suffered a heartbreaking defeat to Tom Hall. Asa from the Deck Out, he posted his report. You guys should check that out if you haven't. But what do you guys think? I mean, there's this deck that's literally just 4 Celebi and 3 Mewtwo, and it got all the way to top 16 and it lost just barely. What do you think that says about the state of the format?
It kind of just says how weird Tom's list was, to be honest. I don't know if you guys have heard what he played or seen what he played. But he was running like Zekrom EX and Super Scoop Ups.
Yes, he actually won because of Super
Yeah.
Scoop Up.
So like, if he just gets heads at any point with Super Scoop Up, Celebi Mewtwo just kind of eats it. It's unfortunate. And I don't know, I actually like the Celebi Mewtwo version more than the Tornadus version. I think it's just, it's kind of like, if you're just going to go for this, I'm going to just go super out of the gates, you might as well go all in.
Yeah. Drew, what do you think? Celebi Mewtwo, nothing else.
I think it just shows how powerful Mewtwo is. You can make a deck with all Mewtwo's and make top 16. That's ridiculous. I think that's a little too straightforward for me. You probably want to mix up your Pokemon a little bit there, but it just shows the power. I mean,
Yeah.
Mewtwo's pretty easy to knock out, I think,
Yeah.
at some point. So
I've been coming to find that every matchup comes down to Mewtwo knocking out Mewtwo, and that's the game. It's like, do you have another Mewtwo?
Yeah, I think Asa, the guy who ran the deck, was just really banking on the fact that people wouldn't realize just how strong Mewtwo was, so they wouldn't play too many of them. Like his deck, it actually does really well against anything that only plays one Mewtwo, because really you need to have more than one to respond quickly enough. And I think he was just running over people because they'd be like, oh, this is going to be easy. I got my Mewtwo to kill his Mewtwo. And then he plays another one. They're like, I don't have anything for that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I don't understand how a deck so simple can do so well, but that just shows how strong Mewtwo is, I guess.
Well, it kind of got slapped down when because Tom ran 2 Mewtwo, and that's Super Scoop Up. So there's a little bit of hate when I say Super Scoop Up. I don't like that card. Personal beef.
Yeah. So, in the end, we did have, no surprise, there was a Zekrom Electric deck in the finals. I believe 2 out of the top 4 was Zekrom Electric. One in the finals
I think it was-
featured... What? Sorry.
It was sorry, never mind. One of them was Magnezone. My bad. I thought all 3 of them were.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thunderdome is still alive.
Thunderdome.
Top 4. But the one in the finals played Electric, Thundurus, Zekrom, and Terrakion as well. So, looks like the big focus of the format right now is just energy acceleration, whether that be Celebi or Electric, even Typhlosion sometimes, plus giant basic Pokemon. And until people can find a way to stop that, it looks like that's going to be the trend for tournaments here to come. What do you guys think about that?
It's kind of true. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous to say that the setup decks are the stage 1 decks now, and the rush decks are still giant basics. Way back, it used to be rush decks would be like, yeah, I'll get my stage 1 out and beat you in the face for like 90. Right now, you're just having a Mewtwo EX just kind of go wild with 2 energy. I do agree that it is energy accelerant dependent in this format. Like if you can't energy accelerate, you're just kind of dead. Mewtwo just kind of really takes advantage of any type of energy acceleration, whether it's Heal Trick, Celebi, or even Typhlosion, which did not see any. No, I don't think so.
So
Yeah.
there's Electrode too, I guess.
Yeah, Electro 2, he would count as energy acceleration. You just need some kind of energy acceleration in Mewtwo.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you see that the basics give you the best chance of winning. I mean, you got Catcher in the format, so it's really easy to just pop down a couple basics, get them powered up quick, and then Catcher any Magnemites you see, or Cyndaquils or whatever. So I think it's just the safest play. Throw some basics in with an Electric or an Electrode, or even Celebi, I guess.
Yeah. So those are the big decks, but of course there were a few oddballs in there. Let's just run through some of the results in there. Of course, Durant did make a little bit of a showing. You
Got
would
robbed.
expect what?
Robbed. Got robbed.
Yeah, it kind of did. A little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as well. So there were a few Durants that made it. Only one in the top 16 though, from what I can see here. Kind of surprising, seeing how people were saying Durant does well against Mewtwo when, hey, there's so much Mewtwo around here, and Durant really didn't do very well, especially after how many cities it won here in the U.S. But eventually Durant lost to no doubt the strangest deck at the tournament, which was a Mew, Chandelure,
Just a
Crobat,
toolbox. Yeah.
Jump Buff, and then Yanmega Terrakion deck. Clearly playing Mew to beat Mewtwo, and then Yanmega and Terrakion. But when you look at Chandelure, Crobat, Jump Buff, you kind of gotta scratch your head a little bit and say, how'd they get there? But it did. Made it all the way to top 8.
I can explain how it got there, actually, by looking at its bracket. This is where Crobat was the real star for that deck. So he makes it in, where is he? At 20th seed, it looks like. 13 or 20. So that's a pretty decent Swiss record. And then he plays Donphan Dragons.
Another oddball deck. Yes.
And Donphan Dragons kind of eats it to Crobat and Yanmega. So that's pretty much an auto win for him. And then he plays Durant.
My poor Durant.
So pretty good brackets for him. And then he goes on to play. Where is he?
Celebi.
Oh, he played the eventual winner of the tournament, Celebi, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but
I think it's Boy.
Boji. I'm not.
I
He
can
played
embarrass
David. He played
myself.
David. And David. Whatever, man. He played against Celebi, the only one in the top 4 with Celebi, and it just showed. Mewtwo just overpowered him. Mew is not a counter to Mewtwo. So.
See, I think in that matchup, it was more the Tornadus. So that deck, the Mew, Yanmega, Terrakion, none of those things have an answer to Tornadus.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably the reason why that version won. I don't know if the straight Mewtwo deck would have done it as well, but Tornadus, it obviously just plows over Mew.
Mhm.
And then Yanmega and Terrakion don't do well against Tornadus either, so that might be the reason why.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it just has a huge weakness against that entire deck, almost. So, Mewtwo box, not bad, but you can't go up against Tornadus, I guess.
Guess not. But what do you guys think about the viability of that deck going forward? I mean, Mew obviously counters Mewtwo, to an extent. If you can get it out quickly enough, knocks out Mewtwo in one hit. You're only going to give up one prize to their two. And then Yanmega. It's good against a lot of stuff still, actually. It picks off Dynamos, linear attack. You get a lot of free prizes that way, and you'll cut off their energy acceleration. And then Terrakion is good against all the lightning Pokemon that would go with the electric, so kind of a big metagame deck came out of nowhere. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think it was a good metagame choice. But the thing about with new formats, it's kind of like you're in the blind for metagame choices. So like you can't. It's a little risky. It's actually really risky because you don't know exactly what's gonna stay good. You just kind of have on what your own internal testing and what people are talking about at the time. So, like if the format just ended up completely different for some reason, he's showing up with this deck that just I don't even know if he can get out of Swiss.
Yeah.
So it's solid metagame call. But I wouldn't advise it for anyone right now. Maybe a little too early for it.
Yeah, like if a bunch of people show up playing Typhlosion, then
yeah, exactly. It's like that's why it's risky. It's like you don't know exactly what this format is yet. We're all just kind of guessing.
Yeah, that deck looks a little fragile. I mean, looks like only Mew, basically, with some Terrakion, not Mega. And I'm not too big of a fan of Mew 60 HP. I don't see how you win games where you go second, necessarily, all the time, so... Must have been going first all day.
Yeah, I mean, once you get Mew and UC off, I think he played Jump Left, where you can just mass attack for an easy knockout on a Mewtwo for 1 energy, so it's efficient once you get it going, but getting it going quickly enough is the problem with Mew. Always has been, always will be. So, that was the oddball deck of the tournament for sure. We also had a variant of the Truth made it in, Ross's deck. I think it added in a few EXs in there. I think Kyurem was in there actually. It didn't go too far though. I think it lost right away in top 32. There's also a Chandelure deck that made it. And really that's about it for Trainer Lock. So looks like
man,
Trainer Lock.
Zebra decks.
Oh, yep, the Zebstrika as well.
I just
Yep.
kind of bunched those up with Eels.
Yeah. It's not
Not
really
really.
Trainer Lock. So
It's not doing them justice.
for all intents and purposes, Vileplume / Gothitelle Trainer Lock decks looks like they're all but dead. Mewtwo or the EXs in general seem to have killed them. Are they gone forever? What do you think?
They're definitely in a huge decline right now. The whole idea of Trainer Lock is I'm going to slow the game down to the point where you're on my level and then we're playing by my rules, right? But you can't do that right now because when you try to, Mewtwo and all the other fast cards are just like, sure, good luck. If we make it to your level, I'll probably still win, but I'll just enjoy the free prizes while I take them.
Yeah. I mean, I think Gothitelle is probably gone forever. Just Mewtwo destroys that deck. You can't even attack with Gothitelle ever. And Vileplume Ross type deck I think it's gone for now. Maybe it can come back in a later set, but I don't see it competing.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot against Sebastian Cremajoner, however you want to refer to him, and he's clinging on to Ross's deck, the Truth, for dear life, trying to find any way to make it work. And basically all our games would just turn into Mewtwo Wars, because Mewtwo knocks out all this stuff, and then he can't knock out a Mewtwo without playing a Mewtwo himself. And then basically the game just degenerated into who had more Mewtwo's. And then at that point you're just kind of thinking, well, why did I bother going for the Trainer Lock in the first place? Why did I clog my deck with two Stage 2 lines when really at the end of the day it just turned into a Mewtwo battle. And that's kind of the conclusion we both came to. So, yeah, I don't see that deck coming back anytime soon. But, what about Chandelure? Still an interesting deck. Did that work?
I think it kind of falls on. I mean, I see that it made it, but it falls under the same credentials as Ross's deck, kind of. Like, it's a trainer lock still. It only has 130 HP. It made it in 25th seed out of a top 32. I don't actually know the overall numbers. I don't know what record you needed to make top 32, but it's kind of on the lower rung of Swiss records that made it in. So I don't know if it just got there because of resistance or if it just got there based on just going like X2 or something. I don't think it's viable though at all. It just kind of, like, even if you get 3 energy on Mewtwo, there's still other things that can one-shot you other than Mewtwo. There's like Zekrom EX, even Mewtwo, like, okay, say you get 3 energy on your Chandelure and you do like 100 damage to a Mewtwo, it's like, oh, well, I have another Mewtwo, and that Chandelure's dead now. Good luck doing 6 damage a turn. Something like that. And, I think it's just too slow, and I think it's too squishy, which is weird for something that's
Squishy.
That's 130 HP.
Yeah, I know what you mean. 130 was like the magic number, man. It was like, alright, I can't get knocked out anymore. I'm avoiding Blue Flare and Bolt Strike. Those are the magic numbers. I gotta be over 120. And now the number is more like 150, 160 you gotta be at.
Yeah.
And Chandelure, unfortunately, does not have plus 30 hit points.
If it could live, though, I think it would be definitely tier 1, maybe even BDIF, but it just can't keep them alive. So.
Yeah, people were kind of excited about the Fire Chandelure. Don't think that's making too much of an impact, though.
I actually like the Psychic one more, but that's just whatever.
Drew, what do you think? Chandelure, done?
I don't know. I kind of like the Chandelure. I was riding him on PTCGO for a while, so he has a special place in my heart, but I personally wouldn't run him, so yeah, it's sad to say, but Mewtwo is all powerful, and when your 130 HP is not good enough, what are you gonna do? Time to go back into the shoebox, hang out there.
Yeah. I mean, the one redeeming quality that Chandelure has is Lampent, Luring Light. You can drag up something with a big retreat cost and maybe trap it there, but that's not something that you can rely on to win a tournament. People are going to wisen up to that eventually. So you might steal a few wins that way, but overall, Chandelure looks like it's on its way out the door. So yeah, that's really all I got. You guys got anything else from the ECC that you want to talk about?
Durant. Let's talk about the sob story that is Durant.
What happened? How did
Well,
the wheels fall off?
Okay, I kind of can guess what happened. There was 3 Durant that made top 32, and then the first one lost to a Thunderous Eeltrick, Zekrom EX, Mewtwo deck. I guess he just knocked out all. I mean, that one can go like 50-50 probably. So just Thunderous came out on top. The second one, he played against one of the Zebstrikers, and if you don't run Flower Shop Lady, you're dead. Like, so I don't know. Maybe they weren't running Flower Shop Lady, and
I don't know. That's still kind of weird. Like, disconnect takes a long time to knock out.
If you run plus powers, they just run out of Durants.
I mean, if they get like an Eviolite and a special metal, what disconnecting?
Well, you can like knock out. You can like catch up everything that's not that one, kill everything around it and then just shoot it for 80 or something, or just like hit it with a huge Mewtwo or whatever, and then you just bench them because they can't get anything back.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then the last op story, even though this Durant won its top 32 match, I forget. Let's see, where is he? I'm trying to see where the Durant. It beat Electric. I mean, Durant's definitely a top 3 deck for sure. It was just unfortunate that it went up against Mew,
Definitely
the Mew box.
a top 3 deck.
Yeah, top 3 deck. And it was unfortunate it went up against Zebstrika, and then it was unfortunate that it went up against the Mew box, and it just lost a 50-50 in the top 32. So I think everyone's sob story is Durant, even though probably everyone is cheering for, yeah, Durant didn't make it in. So.
Except for Drew.
Drew's like, got 0 Mewtwo? I know what I'm playing.
I can go buy some YouTube, man.
Yep. Alright. Drew, anything else to comment on from the ECC?
I don't think so. I don't see any interesting decks that we haven't covered. Oh man, I see a Mega Magnezone made top 16.
Did it?
Woo! It's not done yet.
Yeah. I wonder if that deck also ran Electric or not. It seems kind of silly not to run Magnezone without, or to run Magnezone without.
Yeah, Magnezone Electric Mewtwo?
Mega.
Yeah, Mag.
Oh, was it in the top 32?
Top 16.
Top 16 even. Oh, I see it. I don't think it did. I think it was just classic Magnezone Mega.
That win.
Well, let's take a look.
Well,
They don't have the deck for the top 32 guy.
I don't know. Maybe whatever it was, it lost to Mega Magnezone. There's one thing about this format though.
pretty face.
If you get hit by a lot of judges and ends, you can end up in a really bad spot.
Actually, the guy he beat was playing Zebstrika.
Zebstrika Eeltrick with other basics?
Yep.
That matchup's probably not that bad. Like, if that
Yeah,
guy...
believe it or not, Yanmega is actually pretty good against Electric decks just because it picks off the Dynamos. Really annoying.
It kind of also depends on how fancy the Zebstrika guy got. Like, when you see your Zebstrika, you get the urge to go really, really fancy with Disconnect. And you just want to just disconnect all day, and sometimes you just can't do it. So it's really like... It's really a tough judgment call on when to and when to not disconnect. So...
yep. That was the problem people had. That was the problem people had with the original Mewtrick deck, Disconnect. That's what separated the good players from bad players. People had no idea when to actually stop using Disconnect, or when to keep using it. That was usually the problem.
Do you remember that one story at the Grinder one year at the one of the LCQs?
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy is playing Manectric, Mew, and he's playing against Yamato in the LCQ. And Yamato's deck list, he's playing Blastoise, but he plays 0 War Turtle, so it's all rare candy based. And the guy gets Disconnect off before Blastoise comes out. And then they're there for like 40 turns. And he's still disconnecting. But for some reason, I don't know why, he just got antsy and he just stopped disconnecting. And then what happened was 3 rare candies flew down from Yamato's hand. And that was the end of the game. So,
I mean, all the guy had to do was sit there and keep saying Disconnect until he took all of his prizes.
Yeah, eventually he would have won.
Yeah. And he decided to use Makeup Shot.
Which is also on the Blitzel, or Zebstrika.
Yeah, an exact copy of the next
Same card.
Same card, minus 20 HP.
Yeah.
Mew's legal too.
Not an EX.
Sure it is. Mew Prime. You can see off a Zebstrika and then you can use it to attack.
I know what deck I'm playing.
There you go.
I think
All right,
Jason will
well-
sign all my cards.
For you, probably not.
No.
He'll just trace. He'll just give him his world deck, and he'll just trace over the signature.
Alright, well, that's really the only topic we have for this week. Next week we'll get more into states and stuff, because, of course, a week from Saturday, state championships starting, so I know we do this every week, but why don't you guys just give a rundown, which states are you going to for weeks 1, 2, and 3? Starting with Drew, because your list is probably the shortest.
Yeah, I think I'm only going to Ohio. I'm gonna count it's tax season, so I gotta work all on my Saturdays. Sorry, guys. And I'm really tired all the time, so probably only going to Ohio. If that, I don't even know if I'll go to Ohio, to be perfectly honest. But it's down the street. I'll try to hit it up. I'll definitely be there, even if I don't play. So hopefully I see you guys.
Alright, Graham, where are you going?
Week 1, I'm going to Virginia, and then week 2 is Delaware, and then week 3, I believe, is Maryland, but I haven't seen really any information for it. So who knows? I mean, worst case scenario, I guess we're taking a road trip to New York, but that's kind of unfavorable. I don't know. That's far, but not as far as I would have to go to Ohio, obviously, but it's still a distance.
Yeah, so for me, I really have nowhere to go week 1.
Ohio!
Could make the 8.5 hour trek to Ohio.
There's
Odds
planes
are
coming.
that's probably not even going to happen. So I'm going to end up missing week 1 probably. But week 2 I will have Wisconsin, and week 3 Illinois. So if you're going to be at those, come say hi. Always appreciate people coming to say hi and all that good stuff. So that's where we're going to be. And I guess that's really all the topics we have. So let's move on to the viewer questions. Of course, if you have any questions, go ahead and post those on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/TopCutPokemon. And we got a few already. The first one is from a guy with a bunch of consonants in his name, which I'm unable to pronounce.
It's
Alright, I'll figure it out.
It's actually, what's that Pokemon? What? Come on, Encyclopedia.
That is
Just call it that.
A moon?
It's not a Bungus. It's
Crustle.
There you go. It's the guy. It's the sand crab.
Yeah, Crustle. So his question is, we all have that one player we have a bad record against. Who is it for each of you? I remember someone asking Puka this on the chat already, but who is it for Pram and Drew?
Oh wow.
I know
One
who it is
second
indeed.
though. We do have a bouncing cat coming online with the Skype.
Oh man.
Oh man. Maybe I'll invite him to call, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, we'll see.
Well, while we do that, while I do this, you go. One of you two.
Drew, who's the one person who you can't seem to beat?
Alright, so it's definitely AJ Schumacher. I always seem to have a good, or at least passable matchup. I've played him like dozens of times over the years. I think I've only
Hello,
beat him-
everyone. Welcome to the Top Cut.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
We're in the middle of something here.
We invited you into the call live.
You got here just for the question and answer portion.
Perfect. I will be right back. I'm getting my camera.
Alright, so AJ Schumacher, he always beats me. It goes back to like, I think I played a tournament several years ago when that Mew, like, what deck is it? The Disconnect deck was
Mewtrick?
legal.
Utrick.
Yes. And I lone starred like Gladio Star or something, and he killed me like 10 damage a turn over like 10 turns. And just this season we have a game of him beating me with Audino. You guys saw it. He turned won me in the finals of Sudden Death with an Audino. So that's the type of thing that happens when I play AJ Schumacher.
And then he turned to the camera and screamed
Yeah.
Audino.
Audino!
Alright, so AJ Schumacher for Drew. How about you, Fran?
I'm trying to think of one, and I'm coming up with a blank, to be honest.
He just beats all challengers.
It's kind of how it goes. I mean, like, I have there's one person in the local area who no one wants to lose to, but that's because everyone loses that guy, but I'm like, I know I'm positive versus him, so I got no one.
Trying to say he doesn't lose to anybody.
Don't you have lights on at your place, Crib?
That's kind of how it goes, man. Hey,
Do you
when
not
you
like have lights?
Yeah, Krim lives in a cave.
hey man, Krim, get on my level.
I am going to be right back.
What is on his camera? Oh.
I'm plugging my camera in, but re-invite me.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Alright, so you have a local guy, Fran? That's about it.
I mean, like, I know I've beaten a lot of people. I don't know. I got no one. I got no one I lose to consistently.
Must be nice.
Yeah. I guess for me, my legendary rival was Chuck. There was a long period of time where I couldn't beat Chuck. I beat him the first time I played him at a tournament. I met him. Alright, so we used to chat on IRC back in the day, and we played a little game known as Survivor, which was really fun, but it took a good 8 hours to play this game. And then at the end of the night, it came down to me and Chuck, and he gave this. He has to give a speech, and then everybody votes for who they want to win. And Chuck gave the most vulgar, slandering, horrible speech I've ever heard in my life, aimed at me, called me every name in the book, and made a lot of racial slurs, and people voted for him to win. So after he called me all these horrible things, I met him for the first time the next day, and we played, and I actually beat him in the Swiss rounds, and then he knocked me out of the tournament. So that's where it all started. Then I think, there was the incident where I lost to him at regionals, where he like turned to me with a Breloom, and then he started getting up and dancing all around me, laughing in my face, saying I screwed you. So I guess if I had a rival over the years, it would be Chuck. But more recently, gotten the best of him for the most part. But overall, Chuck, he's handed me the most devastating losses over my career. So Krim, how about you? Who is the one player who you can't seem to beat in your career?
In tournaments?
Yeah, anywhere.
Oh no, he froze.
He's froze.
He's deep in thought.
He's in the tank.
Well, I'll fill in some time. I'm looking over at the question again, and I'm that person. Like, I'm the person, in the question. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that
I
person.
thought of, like, Uzi X.
hear me?
I don't see you beat that.
Yeah, that was like a one-time deal. One-time
Yeah,
deal,
one-time.
not constantly.
You guys hear me?
You're a little low, but yeah, we can hear you.
Alright, well, I have my mic right next to me. But what was the question? I'm sorry. Like, I think my internet was being flaky.
The question was, who is the one person in your career who you just can't seem to beat? Whether it be tournaments, practice, whatever.
This guy.
He's got the Mondac camera on. Yeah.
Yes. That is the answer. Man.
Alright, I guess.
Do you have anyone in mind, Krim?
Yeah. No, I never lose to anybody in tournaments.
One Pram is bad enough.
I think I'm having connection issues, so hopefully you guys can hear this. But
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you. Your video's just lagging, so just keep talking.
like historically, I don't think I've had losing records against pretty much anybody except for like maybe just recently Matt Sauerberry, who beat me in like three games in a row. But historically, I really don't think I've had a losing. I know that's like I've lost big matches to Ashley Bennett and William Hung, one of my two most memorable losses. But like, I've only played them each once, I think.
Let's explore this. I think you might have the most embarrassing big match losses of all people in the history of the Pokemon trading card game, which is amazing considering how few tournaments you've actually played. So you've named a couple. First one is William Hung, where famously after he beat you, he asked you if you won, and then he got up and started screaming. And the other one was Ashley Bennett, who, she's a player from Illinois who really didn't do very well at anything and then just kind of showed up and crushed your dreams with a Dark Steelix deck. She did actually go on to make top 16 at that Worlds, so not as embarrassing as the William Hung one. But then at Nationals in 2009, you had a fateful loss to a player who referred to himself as the King of Magikarps. And he had a hat with Magikarps hanging off of him.
He's from Virginia.
And he had a T-shirt with a Magikarp on it.
He's from Virginia.
He's from Virginia. Go figure.
Hey man, that's why you're scratching your head, going, man, why is Cram's answer so cocky?
He gets to play against the King of Magikarps all day.
Alright, well, yeah, I lost to the King of Magikarps. It was a hard-fought battle. Jeez, man, that stupid rule, dude. I'm gonna go to my grave thinking that rule is the worst. It's that if you lose if you lose when time's called game 2 and you won game 1, then you have to flip a coin to see who goes first. I didn't know that rule existed. That was the year that the rule came out. And yeah, I lost the coin flip, and Machamp happens to be SP win.
Yeah. Even now, I still think that's a bad rule. That rule's still in place now, right?
Yeah, that rule's still in place.
Yeah, even now, I still think that's a bad rule. It's like
that rule almost decided Worlds, but well, it kind of did decide Worlds.
It did decide
Worlds.
David got to go first.
David should have gone first, anyways.
Yeah, but it almost
changed. It almost
chances.
changed what should have happened.
Yeah. So, Krim, are there any other losses I'm missing?
I mean, pretty much every tournament loss that I've had is pretty embarrassing. Like, for example, I lost the Brit at Nationals last year because I forgot to register my communications, and I made it all the way to top 32. And then
you got cut off.
Playing against the one deck that you auto lost to if you don't have communications, and that's Gengar. So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Don't worry, I've already replaced you with the cat, so you're just a voice.
Well, I put different fighting energies instead of like the basic fighting energies that I had in the deck, just so I could see when I was drawing the communications, so I could kill myself even more. And I started with like 2 it was gonna be the nut hand, but instead it ended up being like literally like draw, go, and then all of a sudden like I think he gets like I can't remember the exact details, but he gets to use the attack, and sure enough, if I would have been able to communication away my hand, I would have been in good shape. I think I would have been able to win game 1. But yeah, that didn't happen because I couldn't get rid of my cards, and like he beat me just soundly. Like, I mean, obviously you can't win that match in that situation, so that's also a pretty bad loss. Because I feel like I could have gone on to top 16, and I would have played against Jason Harry. The winner of that got to play Kyle, and me and Kyle were playing identical decks. So
Wow,
I could have been
almost.
national champion last year.
Almost identical.
You could have been in second place.
No, I wouldn't have choked.
You would have flipped your reversal a little better.
So, I mean, yeah, like, you're right, I haven't gone to very many tournaments, but the few tournaments I have gone to have had, like, some pretty ridiculous results.
I believe you also have a loss to Matt Dunford at a tournament. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do. That was in top 8 of regionals, I believe, or top 4 of regionals, one of the two. That was, like, back in 06 or something like that. His Nidoqueen beat my Medicham, I believe. That sucked. I mean, these are all losses that are... I mean, they're bad beats and everything, but it happens. It's part of...
I don't really think the Medicham versus Nidoqueen one's a bad beat. That's just like bad.
No,
matchup.
that one was actually a pretty... Yeah, that was actually a pretty bad matchup, but it was a bad beat that I had to face because everything was just an auto. And then Dunford just donks his way into... Ugh.
You know who also had a sob story like that in the ECC? Durant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were going over it.
What was the bad beat?
You can watch the show again.
And then you also had that fateful tournament with the Ludicolo deck, your deck. You know, you had the tournament win in your hands, and then you just didn't see it.
Yeah. I mean, that's. Thanks a lot for mentioning all these losses. I was playing Ludicolo, and I literally just went like, Kyle, give me a deck list. He gives me a deck list, and this is back when, I mean, obviously I wasn't playing very much at all. And I look at the deck list, and I'm like, man, these energies suck. It doesn't make sense. Like, why does this? I mean, and I figure it's just like they're tech one-ups for whatever reason, for whatever like bogus reason. And I can't even remember what the energies did. They were so random.
Okay, let me explain it.
Or whatever.
Alright, so there were the Holen Energy. Remember those guys?
Yep.
There were the different ones. There was the Fighting Fire one, the Grass Lightning, and the Water Psychic one, the Water one. So when you had the Holen Water and then a basic Water attached, it prevented all effects of attacks. So you know, for example, like a Rocket Sneasel EX dragging off one of your bench Pokemon, it would stop that. So, Krim, continue.
No, it's okay. I think they've heard.
Well, I mean, it was just that with probably scrambles and DCEs.
Yeah.
Or not DCE, DRE.
Some waters, perhaps.
Waters,
Yeah.
probably just water.
Maybe a Holen's Castle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I go the entire tournament just playing the deck and just winning. And I think I can't remember the exact details, but I remember losing the match. Was it against that I lost to?
What?
What did I lose to?
You lost to Rocket Sneasel EX, Drag Trip.
What?
Yeah.
I think the guy's
Yeah.
name is Jose. Is that right?
I don't know, he's lagging too much. But
Yeah.
Krim, you with us?
My internet's choppy, so let's go ahead and finish my story.
I'll finish your story for you.
Yes.
Well, so basically it's a sudden death game, and this guy's got his Rocket Sneasel EX, and pretty much Krim has a Jirachi, which has a power. Look at your top 5 cards, choose one, shuffle the rest back in, and he has a Rhydon, which Sneasel is weak to fighting, and he's got a water on the Rhydon. He does 40 to the Sneasel, and they're like, okay, in 2 turns I'll be able to just win the game, but this guy keeps dragging off the Jirachi. For 1 energy, Sneasel does 10, and then brings up one of your bench Pokemon, and then it has a special Dark, so it brings up the Jirachi, does 20, so it'll actually win the race. It'll knock out the Jirachi before Krim can knock out the Sneasel. So the guy drags up the Jirachi again, Krim uses the power, and he actually gets an absolutely perfect hand. Like, he could not pick his cards better if he wanted to. In his top 5, he gets a switch. So he gets to switch the Jirachi to the Rhydon, and then he has the 1 Holen Energy in his deck that would prevent the Sneasel from dragging up the Jirachi again. And he's just staring at the cards like, why does Kyle play this card? He's stupid. And he just like looks past it and doesn't attach it. And then he attacks again and he loses the game.
What?
Not my finest moment, but I mean, nobody's perfect, and yeah, I just didn't know what these cards did. And that to my in my defense, like if you look at that card had like a wall of text.
Yeah.
Are you seriously expecting me to read that card?
you know,
2 paragraphs.
I'd imagine you would read it some point. Like, you know, what round was this?
Last round. It
Was
was
the
like
finals?
Top 4.
top 8.
four?
Top
You
four,
know, I'd
top
imagine
four. Top
you
four
go
in the
through
auto.
all
I
of
had an auto in the
Swiss.
top 8.
Yeah, you did have an auto.
You go through a round of Top Cut. You pretty much know at that point what all your cards do, except for this one mystery card whose text is too big, and you don't go, I should read this card just in case.
I never claimed to be the smartest guy in the Top Cut. The greatest theoretical mind. Theory does not equal reading, alright? Next question.
Alright, that was a fun trip down memory lane, at least it was for me. So, from Jesse Irvolino, what's your opinion on the newly announced Rayquaza EX? And do you think it will work better with Emboar or Electric? I personally think Electric. So, for those of you who don't know, this Rayquaza EX was just released in a new set. It's like the old Rayquaza EX, except now the attack does 60 for each energy you discard, instead of 40. So, for 2 energy, you can choose to discard all fire or all lightning, and you do 60 for each one you discard. So, theoretically, if you had, like, let's say 2 lightning and a prism energy, you could do 180 damage for 3 energy with a Rayquaza EX. So what do you guys think about that?
It's gonna be good. Like old Rayquaza EX was good all the way until it rotated.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just kind of a callback to the old one. It just does more damage, but you know it does more damage because everything else has more HP. Like if you kind of think about it realistic, like 3 energy used to one-shot anything back then, pretty much. 3 energy still one-shots anything, pretty much. So overall mechanics-wise, nothing's changed. It's just a reprint, sorta.
Yeah, I think the clear combo is with Electric since it's
Yeah, I think Electric is the best one. I mean, like you just call it a callback to Blaziken right now. You just gotta
Stage 1 Blaziken.
I guess you just gotta put in like you just have to print something that does like Manectric, Aqua Manectric or something like that.
Shaman, yeah.
Shaman, yeah.
Yeah, no. Aqua's Manectric as a basic. Oh wait, Aqua's Manectric was a basic.
Archie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming back, guys. Blaziken. So, do you think it would work with Emboar or Typhlosion? Anyone?
Yes.
Typhlosion, definitely.
Might be
But-
tougher
No,
to
it
get-
would work with Typhlosion a million times before it worked. That card is actually really good, by the way.
Actually,
Really good.
Yeah.
How much HP does it have?
What?
170?
Let me check.
170.
1 sec.
Yes, if you
It
have
has 170.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Its first
Okay.
attack is Heaven's Call. You discard the top 3 cards of your deck, and if they're any energy, you attach them to Rayquaza.
It's pretty good.
Sure is. So, Rayquaza EX, gonna be good. Look out for that when it comes out, I guess.
And remember, you guys remember for everyone else, for everyone out there, you can run Prism Energy with this. So you can just put a Prism Energy on it, and then you put 2 other whatever, fire or lightning. You just choose whatever basic energy, and the Prism comes off at 2 for the extra 60. So
Yep. It's pretty good. So from Edgar Blanton, just what exactly will be the deck to see at the upcoming states and regionals this coming weeks? What do you guys think are going to be the decks to look out for?
basically, the top 3 are going to be Durant, Eeltrick, and Celebi.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the standings of the ECC, and you'll probably see everything that did well there.
Prim, any thoughts?
What was the question?
What decks do you expect to see at states?
I expect for Electric to be probably the most popular card at States, like the most popular Pokemon. Well, other than Mewtwo. I think the Electric decks are going to be really, really popular, and after that, I mean, you can go with either Mewtwo Celebi, which is getting a lot of hype, or Durant, but I think Durant's kind of falling off. So I expect to see a lot of Electric, and then some Mewtwo Celebi, and then finally Durant hit their place. Am I missing any big decks? No, I don't think so. Those are the
No,
main
I
things.
don't think
much
so.
Yeah.
as we were saying before,
yeah.
expect decks with energy acceleration plus big basic Pokemon.
Or Durant.
Or Durant. Alright,
What do you guys think Electric's going to be more popular, by the way, or do you guys think Mewtwo Celebi is?
I think Mewtwo Celebi will probably get more play by people who have the Mewtwo's.
Okay.
But
Electric by a long
but
shot. Actually.
simply because they're both relatively easy to play, but Mewtwo Celebi has that like it has everything mid-level players like. It energy accelerates from your hand. It does 80 damage turn 1. You know, those things.
Yeah, I expect Electric, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, if Mewtwo Celebi.
Yeah, I think Eeltrick is better late game because it can kind of like dodge ends better than Celebi can, but you know, it's really probably a 50-50 matchup either way.
Yeah, I think
Alright,
Celebi might be about even with Electric just because it won the ECC, so it's getting a lot of hype.
Gotcha.
You'll see both those decks regardless. From Dex Edmiston, hey guys, are any of y'all making it to the Texas State Tournament? Also, I'm running Durant at States. How do you think it will do? And how do I counter fire decks? Do you think I will run into those? Will there be any issues there? Thanks.
Alright, can I take this one?
Yes.
Real quick, under
No, we're not.
under a minute.
Unfortunately,
Do it
making
under a
to
minute.
Texas States. We're not unfortunately making it to Texas States, but Durant's a pretty good deck. I mean, I expect for you to do well. I think you should top cut with the deck. But then at that point, it's just like, let's get lucky with my matchups because you can't beat Fire. I don't think there's any way you're going to be able to beat Fire. It's just because historically a bad matchup for Durant, and it hasn't changed since. You can try to get cute with Rotom tricks. You can try to use Lost Remover and Crushing Hammers, but I mean, Fire's fire. Fire's too good for you. For your little
Too
ants.
good for you.
For your little ants over there.
Yep. Alright. From Mia Violet. With all the new EX Pokemon coming to town and making the only prominent decks basic only, with the exclusion of Electric, what are your thoughts on Stage 2 decks? Specifically, how well do you think Chandelure will do? And what may make it a great or awful deck for States? So we pretty much touched on this already. I think we all pretty much agreed that Trainer Lock decks are pretty much dead, gone forever. EX has killed them. But Prim, you didn't get your chance to chime in, so what do you think?
What part didn't I get my chance to chime in on?
Well, we had a whole discussion about Trainer Lock decks, like Chandelure, the Truth, Got the Tell, that kind of stuff. Do you think those decks are just done?
Now, I mean, I have put some playtesting into Pokemon recently, so I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure the decks are done. Now, granted, I didn't really play test Trainer Lock decks very much, but we kind of have to write them off. And maybe the greatest theoretical mind, guys. When you're facing 150 damage, you can't really expect for a Chandelure to live, and you can't really expect for anything that the Ross deck can bring out. Mewtwo has 170 HP, sure, but it dies to itself. And Zekrom EX just discards too many energies, and Reshiram EX might kill itself if it gets tails and your opponent has a way to deal 150. So it's not looking good for any of the Trainer Lock decks, in my opinion. Did you guys agree with me, or did you guys disagree?
No, we agreed.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. From Jack Eiler, what do you guys think is the best deck in the format? And Drew, is it my turn on Words with Friends? My computer can't play it and my phone broke.
Let me see.
So while Drew checks that, what do you guys think is the best deck in the format?
It is his
Mewtwo.
turn.
Just Mewtwo?
Just Mewtwo.
Celebi Mewtwo?
I don't know. More Mewtwo, that's all you need. No, I'm just kidding. Probably Eel. I like Eeltrick the most, but it's really like 50-50 across the board.
Grim?
I've been playtesting Typhlosion with mixed results, but I have high hopes for the deck.
Mixed results,
Yeah.
meaning bad results that you just don't want to say it's getting destroyed? Because
Yeah,
that's what's happened in my playtesting.
Miku Celebi. If I had to play a tournament tomorrow, I'd play Miku Celebi, but I'm really trying to make that plus more. No, it's not. The thing is, it's not. It's putting up decent results against the decks that I expect to face. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I
Whoa.
keep beating Durant over and over.
I was gonna say, you've been beating Durant, losing everything else.
No. The deck actually does pretty good against the Miku Celebi deck. Better than 50-50. So, I mean, the Electric's a little bit of a, it's kind of scary. It just depends on what they run. But, I mean, even if it is less than 50-50, it's not by much. And the fact that it does pretty good against Miku Celebi and Durant is kind of like making me think, oh, maybe there's a shot. So, again, it's just been play tested maybe 20 games. So, maybe...
Oh no. We have a technical issue, guys. Skype crashed.
I'm just having like...
So, 1 second while we get that back up. No, my Skype crashed. Yeah, we're still on. We never went off air. But I just gotta readjust everything.
What was the last thing you guys
I don't know. Are you talking about Typhlosion?
Back. For some reason, we're darker now. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Our pictures are just in different areas, but I can fix that. Really? Oh yeah, you guys aren't picking up. Excellent. Well, it looks like it's a good time to take a break. So we will be taking a break now and be back in 5.